Welcome to the Think Podcast.
Why couldn't Romans 5 be referring to human death?
Okay.
Human sin, not,
Right.
human death.
Okay, let's supposing that it is referring to human death. I tend to agree with that position, actually. The point is, according to the evolutionary dating methods, you have human fossils dated to about 300,000 years old. So even human fossils show death before any possible biblical date for Adam. You cannot stretch Adam's genealogies back to 300,000 years ago. There's no way you can do that. So that's where I think a lot of these old earthers have a blind spot, that even human fossils undermine their position. Romans 5 and human death is alone to undermine. And once you accept the dating methods may not be right, then you've undermined the case for the millions of years anyway. But if you have millions of years, you have the dating methods which put human fossils before Adam's sin. You can't escape it that way.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, you're right, because if you accept an old earth, even as like an old earth, when I think of old earth creationism, I think of Hugh Ross, and that whole wing. Maybe
I've written a whole book on him, don't you?
What's that one called?
My book is called Refuting Compromise. It's available on creation.com, a very easy website to remember, creation.com. And my book is Refuting Compromise. And there's a point-by-point refutation of Hugh Ross, 400 and something pages, going into all the different issues about biblical exegesis, about the death and suffering, the origin of humanity, global versus local flood, Big Bang problems, radioactive dating. It covers all these things, the history of interpretation of Genesis 1 to 11, going through the early church to medieval to reformers. Okay, so I go through a lot of ground, so I'm actually fairly familiar with that, man.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's good, because I was going to ask you what you would recommend. Normally I do that at the end.
Mm-hmm.
What would you recommend for people who want to take next steps? But that's wonderful. So refuting compromise, and you do get into that view. So now we're talking about human death, and our topic today is actually addressing inhuman, non-human, superhuman or subhuman, depending on how you view it. But everyone right now wants to know about the possibility of alien life. And then I also wanted to pick your brain today on the subject of the Nephilim.